Welcome back to On Air B&B Football with Brandon and Bryce. Bryce and Brandon, thank you for coming back, watching us on YouTube, listening to us on Spotify, whatever you're doing. We appreciate it. Today we're going to be coming at you with some college football picks and bets. The picks for the regular season, who all wins the conference, championship winners, all that good stuff. And we're going to throw some bets in there for you as well. But before we get into this, Bryce, tell them what to do.
You gotta hit that like button, that subscribe button, that share button, all that good stuff.
That's it. Let's get into it, Bryce.
So let's start with the conference winners. So we'll start in the big one, SEC. Who do you have in the SEC championship?
Yeah, this is the easiest for me. This one's going to be Texas. I got Texas all around. You'll figure that out here in a second. But, yeah, Texas for me. Who do you got?
I got Georgia. So you have Texas versus Georgia. I have Georgia versus Texas. Georgia's taking it.
And Texas is taking it.
We'll see what happens.
So we agree. Texas is taking it.
Well, so the odds for those. So Georgia is, of course, favorite at plus 180. Texas is behind them at plus 370. And then Bama's third at plus 500.
And Bama's always going to be decent. They could always sneak in there. And
they could. They
us,
won last year.
I think this is Texas's year, and I know you really think this is, again, Georgia's year. So, yeah it could bounce either way. But
yeah, it could. But moving on to the Big Ten.
Big Ten. All right, Bryce. Tell me your winner here.
I have in the game Ohio State versus Penn State. Now, hear me out. Not being a homer here at all. Not being a homer. Not doing it. Penn State's schedule is so easy that they should sneak in.
It is.
I don't think they're going to belong there, okay? Being honest.
They're going to get whooped?
Probably, because they play Ohio State in the regular season. I think they'll probably lose. That's going to be their only loss on the season. That's the only ranked opponent they play. So Ohio State versus Penn State in the championship game, just because Penn State had an easy schedule to get there, because it's the top two teams.
Right.
So I still have Ohio State winning that game. But Penn State gets there, I think. It's still going to be a competitive game, but
in the championship, if they get there, they're going to get whooped.
It also depends on how that game earlier in the season goes. The game earlier in the season is in Happy Valley. It's Penn State at home, so it's going to be a more close game. I feel like still think Ohio State wins that game and wins the Big Ten championship game. I'm just saying Penn State has a way easier way to get there than Oregon or Michigan.
Right. Well, I mean, that's my pick is Oregon. I know you said they got a harder schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got Ohio State, Michigan. They got some tough schedule.
Right.
They got a tough schedule.
But they also have Dylan Gabriel. Okay?
They do.
And let's not forget, Dylan Gabriel is the Heisman favorite.
He is.
So with that, he carries them to the conference winner against Ohio State.
Okay.
Because Ohio State is absolutely going to make it. There's no question about that. It's a matter of who wins it.
Yeah.
And if Oregon makes it, they win. If Penn State makes it, I think it's Ohio State there. But
yeah, well, Ohio State is first at plus 145. Oregon is second at plus 200, and then Penn State's third at plus 500. And then you do have Michigan there at plus 900.
Right, but they're flipping their whole team, so it's
Michigan is. They're still going to be Michigan with their identity as running the football, but they're rebuilding a lot of their team this year.
Right.
All right, Big 12. This is a pretty easy one for me. So I got Utah facing Oklahoma State. I think with Ollie Gordon there, running back at Oklahoma State, he's going to carry them pretty far this year as long as he stays healthy. But Utah is a way better team. Utah is a team I think can go undefeated this year,
right.
Honestly, because of how easy their conference is. But I have them winning the Big 12 easily.
Right, and we have the same winner, but I also think this is the division that is probably the easiest to pick who faces who in the championship.
It could be, yeah.
I think it's also going to be one of our picks, because you got OSU, and I have Kansas State.
Yeah,
they're
the second favorite.
Yeah, those are the top three teams in that division, and Utah is definitely taking it. I think we agree on that, and it's just a matter of who they face. I definitely think it's going to be Kansas State. They got a strong team. Not too bad of a schedule, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think Utah is the only team in that division that can compete with other top schools. I'm not saying they can beat a Georgia or maybe an Ohio State, but they can compete with a Penn State. They can maybe compete with Ole Miss or LSU or Missouri or like teams like that and beat them. So That division I think is theirs to lose. All
I'm
right,
with you.
last conference winner that can get to the playoffs is the ACC. So FSU had a little
Breakdown.
breakdown in Ireland.
Yeah.
Hey, so so they're not my pick anymore. They were.
Yeah, they were. They
They
were
were
both of our
probably a lot of
picks.
people. They were the favorites. They were the favorites a few days ago. Now they're third. So you got Clemson plus 300, Miami plus 350. Florida State is still third, but they're at plus 600 now.
Right. And I want to start off by saying I don't think that they're going to look as bad as they did the whole season.
I don't
in
think they
that
are
game.
either.
I think they're going to show you why they were ranked. But in the same sense, I'm not picking them to win that division.
Yeah.
I think, they got a really tough schedule facing Notre Dame and Clemson, and
Yeah.
those teams are not easy.
Mm-mm.
So with that said, I've got Clemson here, and I got them taking on Miami in the championship.
Okay.
Both decent teams, but I just think that Clemson's schedule is a little bit easier.
Yeah. With Clemson, I think they'll lose week 1 against Georgia, and which that'll make them even with FSU. But then you look at Miami, who is a good team this year, does have a lot easier schedule. The only ranked game I think they have right now is against Florida State on October 26th, I believe it is. Yeah. That's the only ranked game they have. They do face Georgia Tech later in the season, which we saw what Georgia Tech did to FSU. But is Georgia Tech that going to be the same Georgia Tech
Right?
team?
Is that a tale of
Yeah,
how
is that
good
going to be
they
the same
are,
team
or
later in the season? I don't know. But they have a way easier schedule to get there. They started the year off against Florida, but Florida is not. They're not great. But that could be a game they lose. We could see all 3 ACC teams lose in the first game this season. Then
Right.
it's back to even.
Right.
Those are the top 3 teams, and that's wide open. So it's interesting. I still have Miami. I have them winning the ACC now, but like I said, it could be wide open after week 1.
Right. I still think FSU could surprise us, and
It
they could
could.
come back.
I think they're gonna bounce back.
Right. It's
I
not
do.
a pick that I feel comfortable taking when they got to face those opponents.
Yeah.
And real quick before we move on to the next section, I want to just mention Notre Dame
Mm-hmm.
because, being that strong team,
Yeah.
they don't have a hard schedule.
No, one of the easiest.
And it's just, I don't know. I mean, I feel it's a gut feeling with Notre Dame, okay? With betting, taking the overs every week, taking the money lines.
All right. Go ahead.
I just wanted to mention that, okay?
Yeah.
So look for them to be the 5th seed this year. That's what I'm predicting.
Okay. I mean, they definitely could be. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to our Heisman picks. Who you got?
This, like I said, you're gonna find out is where I round up around Texas. Southland, Texas. All right?
Texas.
So, Quinn Ewers taking the Heisman. I think he's 3rd right now in the Heisman voting.
Yeah, I believe he is.
But, I mean, Dylan Gabriel, Carson Beck. I don't know. I just, like I said, this is Texas's year. So, if it's Texas's year, it's going to be on the back of Quinn Ewers. And he looked pretty good last year. I think he just takes a step up to the next level this year. And that's easy money. It's easy money, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
what's the odds on that, Bryce?
So Ewers is 3rd. He's at plus 1,200. You got Dylan Gabriel 1st at plus 500. Carson Beck 2nd at plus 800. So mine, I'm gonna move down the list a little bit. I'm gonna go plus 1,400. I'm gonna take Jalen Milroe.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm taking him,
Bama.
I think that team is gonna lean a lot on him. He's that dual threat quarterback that does run a lot.
So you think that even with Nick Saban leaving,
yes? So I think
there's still Alabama.
I think with Kalen DeBoer there, I think it's going to give Jalen Milroe a little bit more freedom. I think he's gonna play free, be able to run the ball down, just throw the ball down the field. Also, I think he's gonna play a lot freer this year. He knows he's a starter, knows what he needs to do. I think he's gonna be I think at plus 1400, that's a good solid.
Right,
pick.
just turning him loose, and that.
Yeah.
And Kalen DeBoer is a solid coach.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah, he definitely is.
and you mix that with Alabama's program. I don't think
Mhm.
Nick Saban's completely out of the picture. I know that he's not the coach. I just think that
Yeah.
there's still going to be some
It's
influence there.
there is, but I mean, I mentioned in the 12 and 12 video that the culture's changing in Alabama,
Right.
but we're gonna see what that is this year, and I really think that's gonna just Jalen Milroe's gonna thrive in that and just be let loose.
I get it.
But
I get it.
I will mention though, Ollie Gordon from Oklahoma State sitting down there, which he's considered the best back in college football. He's way down there in picks at plus 7,500.
Right, and I like that pick. I want to also mention Jackson Dart at Ole Miss.
Yeah, he's at plus 1,400, right below Milroe. So
Right.
he's right with Milroe. So, but Ollie Gordon at plus 7,500 in
Yeah,
January.
just throw $1 on it.
Yeah. I think come January he's gonna be there in New York. Like as long as he stays healthy, he can pretty much carry that Oklahoma State team. So, I don't know. I just like that line right there a lot.
I get, and it's not the craziest division. I mean, you got Utah there, but other than that,
Yeah.
there's nothing serious. I mean, Kansas State.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth a shot. I'll give you
sure.
that.
But all right, national champions. Who you got?
National championship.
Who you got in the game?
I was going to say what I have written down on paper, which is Texas versus Georgia. But I'm gonna call my shot here. Okay.
Okay.
Texas versus Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
That's Texas way of saying things.
So I got Texas though.
Texas. Texas is taking
Texas.
it, but Notre Dame
is
going.
Think so?
I do.
Right.
I mean, like I said, as Georgia, tough opponent. Ohio State, you could argue all these teams, but I just have it's a gut feeling with Texas and a gut feeling with Notre Dame. You gotta trust your gut, okay? Especially when it comes to throwing money on the line. So
I mean, Notre Dame they are plus 1,800.
Plus 1,800. They're what? The seventh pick.
Team.
So it's, I don't know. I mean, I think it's worth a shot. If you're a betting man, throw a good $10 on it. Whatever.
Go down. So I'm not trying to play the safe route. I've never really played the safe route in betting, but
you are a Steelers fan.
I'm a Steelers fan. That is true. But I just think it's Georgia and Ohio State this year. Like I think those are the two. They are the two best teams. Everybody knows that. You do have Oregon in there. I do really like Dan Lanning in Oregon and do like Dylan Gabriel. I just think Ohio State and Georgia are just still the most talented teams, especially what Ohio State did this year in recruiting. And then they also added Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator.
That's a big move.
Stealing him from a head coaching job at UCLA. So you have that. I still like Georgia winning the national championship. They are the favorite, plus 280. Ohio State's right behind them at plus 400. But I don't know. Georgia and Ohio State are the two top teams this year, and I just don't see anybody really beating them.
I hear you on that.
You got a feeling with Notre Dame, Texas.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't argue with you.
Yeah, I mean both of these picks are decent.
Find out in a few months.
B&B's picks. That's it. Ride with Texas.
Ride with Texas.
You riding with Texas?
I love Texas.
You're riding with Texas.
I love Texas, but I'm not picking.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for us today. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for listening on YouTube and Spotify. Before you get out of here, please help us reach our goal where we want to talk to you, the fans, the players, and the coaches. We can't do that without y'all's help. So please do us a favor and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with everybody you know whether they like football or not. Because this isn't just football.
No.
It's Texas.
You help us get out to Texas.
All right.
Go Horns. Horns up.
Horns up, baby.
Horns up, not horns up. Yeehaw.
We live in West Virginia. So, yeah. That's it. Thank you, guys.